Hello everybody, I was talking about brine water in one of my other videos, and I explained that I used to go swimming at the King Alfred Swimming Club, and I just wanted to show you it, and that it's sea water, not brine water, which is crazy, isn't it? Anyway, it was built in 1936, but yeah, I like all those Regency buildings. There's loads of them in Brighton and Hove, and it's on quite a big plot of land. The seafront looks a bit strange with the sand and that. Anyway, I found out a bit more information today I never knew. So, the King Alfred Leisure Centre had an unexpected start to its life, just as the original building, the Hove Marina, was nearing completion in September 1939. The Second World War broke out and the building was handed over to the Navy and used as a training and commissioned to the HMS King Alfred. And so basically they put sort of something over the swimming pool, boards over the swimming pool, and they used the car park as a dormitory. There it is, underground car park used as dormitory. But after the war it was decommissioned, handed back to the Borough Council, and then went back to what it was. And it has 2 indoor salt water pools, restaurant, ballroom, underground car park, indoor bowls, ice skating rink, and over the years bits more have added to it. That's how it started out after. It was built in 1936. Sometimes, I don't know, we just don't even think about how old. I know that's not the oldest building, but we don't realise how old some of these buildings are sometimes. I used to go swimming there as a kid. There it is. And quite a big building, don't you think? This is them supposedly building it. Amazing, it's got some little sort of rods sticking up. They don't look like they know what they're doing, but they built that great big building there. The swimming pool being built. Little pamphlet on it, which I blow up because again it says King Alfred, Kingsway, Hove, swim in the warm sea water swimming pools, because that's the big one, there's a smaller one. There it is today. And then I found that church. Wow. Tartarian or what? Inside there's always more to find. Then I came across this Medina Baths, which is just down the road from the King Alfred Swimming Club, and I was like, oh. And there's a bit of information there. They were there in the 1800s. There you are, 1891. I'm not sure if I've seen it written down as a Turkish baths, but had a swimming pool there, obviously not as big as the King Alfred, but the King Alfred came across this place, and there's quite a lot of, you know, information about it. Look at those buildings. And this house there, and it was built on the side of this house. And then this building's just down the road. They said that they moaned because the smoke from the chimneys was hitting their house and putting soot on them. Oh, the laundry. Oh, I don't know where it is. I read it somewhere on there. Anyway, I love these old buildings. Even Eastbourne's got buildings like that, big buildings. But anyway, it looks like a Turkish baths. And you see the arches on the walls. There's just so much information that there's a lot of information there. And there's that building, and it was next to it. And look what's now. I think they've demolished it. I don't know if they've demolished this building here, but they've demolished all this. What a shame. Why would you want to? And it was next to this place here, in this bit. Such a shame. I love getting rid of all our history in one way or another, or blending it so that we don't notice how old it is, or we weren't supposed to notice how old it was. You know, when you see these people, they just look so out of place for the buildings. And there's that house there in that postcard. It was just down the road from where the King Alfred swim is. But it sort of drew me into more and more information. Oh, I love those Regency buildings. They're ones on the right down there at the bottom. But I've looked up a few more things. There you go, that's them destroying it, look. Up here. I was really trying to find out about the King Alfred Swimming Club. It just led me there. There's that building, dwarfed now. Love to have known more, you know, more about the swimming pool, more pictures. But anyway, that house is on the seafront. It says Hove seafront. Oh, let's put that down just a tiny bit. Oh, it's gone on now. Anyway. There's the King Alfred, and then that building's along here somewhere with the, whatever they were, swimming pool or baths. And it's all gone, but look, just love these old buildings. King Alfred, there's the Madeira house. Never even knew about that place. And that there's a digger in there or something, so they're obviously destroying it all. So why wouldn't they just leave it? Yes. Anyway, just putting it into context, because you know I've talked a lot about Brighton. Our first aquarium in the world, loads of windmills. These 3 piers, one burrowed into the rock face, went in the 1800s. We had Daddy Longlegs train, electric trains, another one. The palace, which just looks like a Taj Mahal thing. And there's the piers. So Hove is next to Brighton. And then Brighton holds the biggest marina in the south, and that's roughly somewhere there is where that pier was. Such a shame. And the Daddy Longlegs ran down there from Rottingdean. There's the marina, there's Brighton, there's Hove, just the context. Portslade, Shoreham it goes. And then I was thinking, oh, yeah, there's this thing called Devil's Dyke. I hope I can explain this well enough when it comes on. Right, let's stop the video. Right, if you could imagine that now we're not looking at Devil's Dyke, that we're looking at where I live. I've told you that I live up on the top of the hills, and then you get to Swindon and you've got to go down, and a lot of people live down here on a different plateau to the ones that live up here. And obviously you can see this one's, I mean, it's not flat, but you know, it's not unflat, is it, to what you think? I mean, I'm living on top of one like this, and then if you could stick Coombe Hill, which I love Coombe Hill, stick that on there, these people looking up would see it more like these are hills, and then Coombe Hill would be a mountain. I know this isn't Coombe Hill, but it's the same. I'm just trying to give you an example. Coombe Hill, and then 10 miles along Swindon, down we go. But this is the Downs at Brighton. Same thing, they paraglide off like they paraglide off the ones in Coombe. And it led me to more information that I never even knew about again. Oh yes, and they had the Eden Project there as well. That's something else. And other buildings there that are amazing. I mean, they do say that Brighton is a little London. It's quite a big place. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. And, you know, it is quite a big valley. I thought, well, in a minute, I look up a bit more information. There you go. The legend is it was a devil was furious and wanted to, when they were wanting to the people of the Weald to Christianity decided to dig a big dike there and the South Downs so that the sea could flow in and out and drown their villages. Well, that's quite a big legend then, isn't it? A lot of places were mentioning that. But up there in that picture, I thought, what's that? What, they didn't think that. I was thinking, well, it's like winter and they were snow, you know, boarding down it, but it wasn't. In the 1800s, they had a train that went down it. I was like, wow, I never knew that. My parents never talked about that, never ever said to me, oh, by the way, did you know that there used to be a train here? And there was a kid, I lived in a town about 10 miles along, and then we used to go up the Dyke into Brighton. And there you go, explains a bit more there about how it worked, how that train worked. So for about in the 1880s, I think, to no, maybe 1890s to 1909, I can't remember if it was 10, 20 years, something like that. And I'm like, wow, you know, the people just don't look like we're again. Anyway, here's another one explaining. So in a moment I'm going to show a little bit blown up, although it was much bigger than that, but it just has come small with the way I've recorded things and added things to the video. So I think I'll blow it up in a second. Here we go. I was a bit shocked at this. What it says is up here, and includes the deepest dry valley in the world. Obviously they're going back to the Ice Age, but the deepest dry valley in the world. Wow. Well, I never knew that. Something else that I didn't know. Anyway, hopefully you might be able to read a little bit of that, although it's a little bit blurry. Sorry about that. But I was a bit like with the train, like, wow. I mean, that bottom one, that hill looks quite steep, doesn't it? I've gone for many a walks, more as a child in there. And then it says here, it was designed by William Brewer in 1894. There you go. This cable railway over the Dyke was made from 1,200 feet of cable suspended precariously 230 feet down the valley floor on cast metal supports. 2 cars, each carrying 4 passengers, were pulled across the ravine by a cable worked by an oil engine. Like the railway, its popularity was short-lived, opening on the 13th of October 1894 and carrying its last passenger in 1909. Something else that's gone. So many things gone. Didn't even know about it. Nobody told me about that. As my mum comes from Hove, and my dad comes from, was it Woodingdean? Woodingdean he comes from. Then it goes Rottingdean. But my mum's parents moved there, so they probably came at the turn of the century. Don't ever remember any stories about this place having a railway. Wow, you learn something new every day, but it's gone. And now I've changed the subject completely, right? This, let's go back to, well, I'll show you this. We're going back to where I live now, well, roughly where I live. This one is in Henley-on-Thames. I wonder how old. That's a stone bridge. It's near Reading. It just came up because I was trying to find pictures. Anyway, we're going back to the little church that's in Thatcham, where I live. And there's so much history connected to it. I was like, oh my god. And then it led me on to something else. Anyway, oh yes, that's in Reading. Look at that. Anyway, back to this building. It's got a little door there. You could say it's mud flood, don't know. It's on the main road again. And you can read, it says, I've got to read it actually. It was listed in the Guinness Book of Records as the strongest claimant to being the oldest continually inhabited place in Britain. Wow, Thatcham. And then it talks about the ages and so forth, and the prosperity in 1304 and so forth. And this little church has been there for quite a while. Erected in 1304, Chapel of Thomas the Martyr. Wow, little chapel. Well, anyway, you can stop and or just read as much as you can if you want to. And even older, it says in 1141, it's to do with the Empress Matilda, which we're going to look at in a minute. Oh gosh, all roads, all roads. Anyway, that little church is on a really busy road. I don't know if you can go in it. I'm not sure if it's a museum now or not. I can't remember now. It's always closed, got stone windows, not very big. It's quite a small place. But, you know, it's got a lot of history attached to it. Now it's the Saxons and how its name changed a little bit to get to Thatcham. Talks about Henry I there. And as I was reading, I'm catching up now, it made me go and look up a little bit more, and then I find a bit more stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know I was going to go. Like, sometimes you have to go with the flow. So it's Norman. Oh, there's just, oh, that's when another church was built, and then it talks about 1121. Henry I founded the Great Abbey of Reading, and then, come on, catch up. And then I get on to the Empress Matilda. So basically, also known as the Empress Maud, was one of the claimants to the English throne during the Civil War, known as the Anarchy. Daughter of Henry I of England, she moved to Germany as a child, and she married the future Holy Roman. So I had to press it. Holy Roman Emperor Henry V. He's put down as an English king, but he was the Holy Roman Emperor. So she joined him, and wherever she's not in England, this is one of his territories. And I just thought that was a bit interesting. You can just read a little bit more if you want to. I just wanted to read the bit about the Holy Roman Emperor Henry V. Anyway, back to that little church there. And then I saw Second World War, Thatcham housed one of the biggest prisoner of war camps in the south, known as Camp 1001. Well, I never heard of that before. So what I have to do is I have to go and look up. During the Second World War, Thatcham housed one of the biggest prisoner of war camps in the southern, known as Camp 101. Thatcham straddles the River Kennet and Avon Canal, the A4 and the race. Oh dear, I've just moved on. Let's go back. And the course of the Roman road, it served by Thatcham railway station between Reading and Newbury, but obviously it's only a couple of miles from, well, less than that from Newbury, whereas Reading's about 10-15 miles away. But I was like, wow, no one talks about that here. I bet you people probably do say it up at Crookham, but it's not like anything's ever, I don't know, I just found that out. One of the biggest, and this is the remnants of it in Crookham Common. The 1001. Every prisoner of war camp in the UK. Wow. See the things you just don't know. Biggest prisoner of war camp in Thatcham, where I live. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to stop there because I went to loads of different places and things. And thanks for watching.